Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today, I'm going to explain which Asian countries have the highest US visa ban rate in the year 2025. So let's get started. Getting a US green card can take 10, even 15 years. But in 2025, millions may not get one at all. 7 Asian countries are now under Washington's close watch. This isn't about individual migrants, it's entire populations that could lose green card access overnight. From war-torn regions to strong US allies, the list is surprising, and in some cases honestly kind of shocking. And the country at number 1? A rich, powerful nation no one expected. Stick around, because what happens here could decide who gets the American dream, and who might be locked out for good. Number 7? Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is now under the spotlight. Washington may be preparing to cut its path to the green card in 2025. Why? The country's deep economic collapse. Since 2022, Sri Lanka has battled record inflation, fuel shortages, and political unrest. At one point, food prices rose by over 70% in a single year. That level of crisis pushed thousands to look for a way out, and for many, the United States became the target. But here's the problem. Desperation has fueled fraud. U.S. officials report a surge in fake job offers, forged diplomas, and even false family ties in Sri Lankan applications. In 2024 alone, immigration watchdogs flagged more than 1 in 5 visa submissions for suspicious documentation. That is a huge red flag. From the American side, this is not just about paperwork. Embassies are overwhelmed, background checks are harder, and Sri Lanka's passport has already dropped in global rankings due to instability. Lawmakers in Washington now argue that the security risk outweighs the benefits of keeping green card access wide open, but not everyone agrees. Sri Lankan officials insist that most applicants are genuine students, workers, and families seeking stability. Human rights groups also warn that blanket restrictions could punish honest people for the crimes of a few. They call it collective punishment, not sound policy. Still, the momentum is clear. Under a U.S. Congress already pushing for tighter controls, Sri Lanka could soon find itself on the restricted list. For students planning to study in New York or families waiting to reunite in California, the clock is ticking. Number 6. Syria. Syria is a tragic case. In 2025, green card access may be suspended due to ongoing instability. Civil war since 2011 has left millions displaced, state institutions destroyed, and official records unreliable. U.S. embassies nearby are either limited or closed, making background checks nearly impossible. In late 2024, Congress listed Syria among countries too unstable for secure vetting. Humanitarian groups argue that cutting access punishes civilians who've already suffered for over a decade. Washington, however, prioritizes security. Even one forged passport or missing record is seen as too risky. Syria could be among the first countries facing suspension, leaving ordinary citizens with few options to pursue opportunity abroad. Number 5. Iran. Iran has long been on Washington's radar. In 2025, green card access is at high risk. National security is the main concern. Stalled nuclear talks and intelligence warnings keep U.S. authorities cautious. Most applicants are highly educated professionals, yet visa fraud and questionable documentation raise suspicion. There is no American embassy in Iran, so verification goes through third-party countries like Turkey or the UAE, causing delays. Critics say banning Iranians punishes ordinary people and drives talent elsewhere. Congress insists security comes first. Family reunifications could be delayed, student pathways frozen, and diversity lottery entries blocked. For law-abiding Iranians, decades of planning to move to the U.S. could be disrupted instantly. Number 4. Pakistan. Pakistan's relationship with the U.S. has always been complicated. In 2025, green card access could be frozen due to visa overstays and verification challenges. Over the past 5 years, over 30,000 Pakistanis overstayed temporary visas. Record-keeping in rural areas is inconsistent, making verification hard. Political instability and economic struggles have increased demand for permanent residency. Families worry about separation, and advocacy groups warn restrictions could hurt relations. U.S. lawmakers argue that accountability and fraud prevention are necessary. Pakistan, one of America's most strategic partners in South Asia, could face restrictions alongside countries in conflict. Number 3. Nepal. Nepal appears peaceful, but fraud and exploitation are driving U.S. concern. Visa overstays have risen sharply since 2020, often facilitated by unauthorized consultants promising shortcuts. Human trafficking is another issue. Victims are smuggled under false identities through employment or marriage schemes. Nepal's documentation system remains scattered, making verification hard. Critics say most Nepalis are honest, hard-working people. The U.S. is considering temporary suspensions unless Nepal strengthens its system. Students and families waiting to migrate face a ticking clock. Number 2. South Korea. A surprise, South Korea, one of America's closest allies, is at risk. Visa overstays have risen over the last decade, especially among students and workers. Many stayed quietly in cities like Los Angeles and New York, employed in Korean-owned businesses off the radar. Marriage fraud is also a concern, with contract marriages arranged to bypass immigration rules. Washington stresses that even allies aren't immune when misuse increases. Critics argue these cases are a small fraction of legitimate Koreans, but under political pressure, Washington may act first. Seoul is tightening oversight, sharing more data, and educating citizens on immigration rules, but the window is closing for students and families. Number 1. United Arab Emirates, the biggest shock: the UAE. Home to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, this wealthy U.S. ally faces green card restrictions in 2025. The U.S. is concerned about rising overstays, fraudulent asylum claims, and inconsistent verification. The UAE's lenient residency rules, dual citizenship, and ties with China and Russia raise U.S. security concerns. Critics warn that restricting Emiratis would harm students, investors, families, universities, and business ties. Momentum is shifting. Even the richest nations are not immune. For Americans and foreigners alike, the message is clear: rules are tightening and no one is guaranteed access. So, what do you think? Should the U.S. cut off green card access to these countries, or should exceptions be made for genuine applicants? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if this breakdown helped you understand what's at stake, like, subscribe, and share so more people